Okay, hope you all can see my screen. Yeah, so in this session, we are going to discuss about multiple color conditions in Tableau. And so these are the topics that we are going to discuss. The first one is, so we have seen one color condition, how to apply in the visualization. So apart from one color condition, we can apply multiple color conditions in Tableau. So today we are going to see that. And today I'm going to tell you about window functions. So there are some window functions, so which will work in that particular view or in that particular window. So I'll tell you how window function works in Tableau. And do not chart. So we have already seen how to create a do not chart. So I'll just show you a brief about that and how to create a waterfall chart in Tableau. So all these four topics we are going to discuss today. Okay, now let's start with how to do multiple color conditions in Tableau. So let me open Tableau. Okay, so I'll just connect to sample superstore data. So this is the icon where I can connect to database. So click on the sample superstore. Okay, so now I want to see subcategory wise sales and profit. Sales and profit. So I'm just double clicking on that and I can see those values coming on the visualization. So here I can see profit and sales. And let's say if I put any condition, so let's say I want to see a condition like the values. So I want to color the profit and sales based on their values. Let's say if I put some of profit in the color, okay, so I can see. I'll make it step. Say okay. Okay, so I have stepped it to two colors, so I can see only two colors. So if I select stepped color and make it two, so I can see only two diversions or the divergent. So I can see these things. So it is coloring based on the profit value. So whenever it is negative, so I can see negative values in red color. Other than negative values, if you have positive, it should color blue color. But the same condition is getting applied for sales also. So even if it is positive or negative, it is not taking into consideration. Why? Because I have taken some of profit in the color. So it is only considering the profit for coloring. But I want to color it based on two conditions. So here I have sales and profit. So I want to color it based on two different measures. So instead of coloring for one condition, I want to color it as for two conditions. So now let's see how can we color for two conditions. So to color it for two conditions, what we need to do is, so we need to uh, put the measure values, in the color. So what does measure values contains? Sandeep, can you tell me what does measure values contains? Yeah, so all the measures values will be available in this. So currently there are two measures which are selected in measure names, so profit and sales. So measure names, profit and sales values will only be there in this measure values currently in this worksheet. Okay, and you have an option to use separate legends. When I say separate legends, so as we have profit and sales, so two different measures. So when I say separate legends, so to your right side, to your right top, you can see only one legend. So this is the one legend for both the profit and sales. So when you say separate legends, so you will get two legends. So one for profit and other one for sales. And you can see for negative values, you can see it is colored as red. For positive, it is colored as blue. And for sales, I want to put a different condition. So let's click on edit. And here I want to color it based on two colors and say okay. Okay, so based on the values, I want to color it here. Okay, so start value this one and end value this one. Say apply. So this way I can apply, or you can say I can take red, green, diverging. Say apply. Yeah. So whichever value has more than, let's say, 1,72,150, those are colored as green color, which are having 1,72,150 below. So those are colored as red color. That means whichever is having 1,72,000 above, so that those will be colored as green. So we can change that value. So I want to show whichever sales value is more than 1 lakh. I want to show that in green color. Rest will be in red color. Say apply. Okay, so you can see the values which are above 1 lakh are colored as green. Okay, so these values are colored as green. So which are less than 1 lakh are colored as red. Okay, and if you see for profit is having a different condition, which is negative. If it has negative values, it will color as red. And we can also select red and green here. So select red, green, diverging and say okay. Okay, so here also we can select this thing. So at a time, we can apply two different conditions. So by using measure values. So as we discussed earlier, measure values and measure names are used to create advanced level of charts. So usually, so to color this thing with two different conditions, it's not possible. Let's say what we usually do is we write condition like this. If sum of profit is greater than 0, then profitable, else non-profitable. So at a time we can only write one color condition. So earlier in our examples, whatever we discussed, so I have shown only one condition at a time. Say okay. Say okay. So this is color condition. Okay, so instead of measure values, if I put this color into this color marks card, so you can see this is coloring only based on the profit value. So whenever this profit is negative, it is coloring sales also. It is not showing any difference for sales and profit. So if you write one more condition for sales, let me make a duplicate. So for sales, let's say for sales, I want to write sum of sales greater than 1 lakh. Okay, 1 lakh, then profitable, else non-profitable. So I can't keep two conditions here. So if I put sales condition here, okay, you can see only sales condition, which is for profit also. So wherever this is more than 1 lakh, then only it is showing as profitable in orange color. In other cases, it is showing you blue color. The same condition, it is showing for profit also. So here I'm not able to apply for profit separately and sales separately. So the only way where we can apply this different conditions is by applying measure values. Okay, so here you can apply one condition. For sum of sales, you can apply one condition, and sum of profit, you can apply different condition. Okay, so here you see the colors are different. So whenever this bookcases is green, earlier it was green for this one. So it was same. So if we just go back, okay. So if this is blue, this is also blue. Art is blue, this is also blue. So it is applying basically the same condition for sales and profit. But in case of this measure values, when I use this measure values, I can apply a different condition for profit, a different condition for sales. So this way we can apply multiple color conditions in Tableau. Okay, so not only that, so you can also add one more column, many measure values. So let's say if I want to add quantity, say okay. Okay, so for quantity also, you will get separate legend, and whichever value is more than, let's say 5,000, I want to see it in a different color. And step colors, I want to see to say apply. Okay, so if the value is more than 5,000, I want to show it as green. Otherwise, I want to see it as red. So this way, I can apply multiple color conditions. So not only one or two, so I can apply how many ever conditions that I want to. So how many measures if you use, so those many measures conditions that you can apply. So that's about multiple color conditions. So these are the steps to create multiple color conditions where you can select. So follow these steps in the PPT and try to recreate the chart and publish it to the Tableau public. So these are the steps that you need to do to create this multiple color condition. So I'll just move on to the next slide. So how to use window functions. So window function is also called as a moving calculation and uses a window around the data point. Okay, so we call this as data points. Okay, so for every dimension, for every measure, so this is a combination of data. So combination of this dimension and measure, you will get a data point. Okay, so like this, how many data points are there? We have 15 marks. So we can call this as marks or we can call it as data points. How this is getting counted? So how many categories are there? Subcategories 17. 17 into 3. So for profit quantity sales, we have these values. So 17 into 3, which is 17, 17 into 3, 51. So in this data, we have 51 data points, or you can say 51 marks. So that's about data points. Okay, so window calculation is mostly based on the data point. So I'll show you how this data point and window function works. So normally table calculation function allows you to perform computations on values in a table, but the window is defined by means of offsets from the current row. Okay, so in table calculation, we have seen table down and we have seen table down, table across. So pane down, pane across. All these things we have seen. So where we are doing this calculations, in table calculation, we are doing this based on the table. Based on the table. So in the name only, it is mentioned as table calculation. So it is based on the table. And moving calculation is based on the data point. So from that data point to previous and next values. So we'll compare that. So I'll show you how it does. And before going to know about that, so I'll tell you what is the difference between a moving calculation and a table calculation. A running total starts somewhere, most likely the first value, and then totals each subsequent. Okay, so we have seen those in a running total, and so we have seen, let me just show you for one. So when we have done quick table calculation, so I have done this total, running total for this quantity, and I will also put quantity again. Okay, so this is normal quantity and this is a running total. So running total, that means it will keep on adding till the down. So 2976 plus 1750, which gives you this running total. So it keeps on adding till the end of the row. Okay, so what is it doing? It is keep on adding the next rows to this thing. And we also have options like okay, so this way it will add the next rows to the current value, current data point. So, but moving calculation is something different. Moving calculation or window functions. Okay, it is something different. It will compare with the current data point to previous and next values. Previous and next values. So table calculation is based on tables. So this is about tables. But moving calculation is based on the current data point to previous and next values. Okay, so these are the window functions that are available. Window average, window correlation, window count, all this. So these are many types of window functions, but mostly we use window sum, window average, window max, and window minimum. So now let's see about these 4 functions in Tableau. So let's take order date, and let me convert this to month and make it discrete, and take sales. Okay, now I have taken sales, and I will make it as, or I will just write window sum of sales. Or I'll write a new calculation, moving calculation. In that I will take window sum of sales. So this is the process to write window calculation. So here you will get 2 times. Sum you will get it as two times. So it is based on the window. So I will show you how this works. So click on OK and window, so moving calculation, and double click on this. Okay, so one is moving calculation and the other one is normal sales. So this one is normal sales. What you see below is normal sales. And I want to compute using order date. So I'll just click on this. So whenever you do this window sum, so basically it is doing the total. So what is the window sum? It is basically the total of all these rows. So all these rows total is nothing but 23,26,534. So that is what is window sum. So this is Tableau is considering this window, I mean this table which is available right here. So this is considering it as a window. So in that window, whatever is the total, it is taking it as just sum of all the records or sum of all the months. And here we can specify. So I want to add previous 1 month data to the current data point, and next value, let's say my current value is, let's say, $500, and my previous value is $200, and my next value is $300. Okay, so with this calculation, what I'm trying to do is, so current value will always be there. So I want to add the previous value. Previous value is denoted by -1. And I also want to add next value. So that will be +1. So if you write a calculation like this, that means uh, for current value, I want to add this one and this one. And what will be the total? Can anyone tell me what it will be the total? So it is $1,000. So based on this calculation, so for current data point, it will show you this thing. And now I'll show you for the next one. The next value is $400. Okay. Raviteja, can you tell me what will be the value for this one? So you have to add previous value and next value to this current value. So what will be the value here? Hmm. Yes. Yeah, perfect. You need to add 500 plus 300 plus 400. Yeah. So you will get 1100. Perfect. And in the next case, so this is next value. Which one? 1200. Yeah. Okay. So let's say next value is 200 or 250, let's say. Okay, so can anyone tell me, so can you tell me what will be the total here for next value? No. So you have to write, yeah, 300. Okay. And the current value also you need to add, which is 400. So this will become 7,950. Okay. So likewise, so it will calculate for each and every row. So now we will see that in Tableau. So let's click on apply. Okay. So basically, these are my sales values. So how this is, I told the Tableau to calculate this previous value plus current value and the next value. So for January 2020, there is no previous value. So that's why it is not adding anything. So it will add current value plus the next value, which is $19,038. So that value, you can see it here. Okay, so now we'll see February. So can anyone tell me what will be the February total? How it will get calculated? So it will be what is the previous value? January 14518 plus current value 4520 plus 56934. 56934. So the addition of all this, you will get 75,972. Okay, Raviteja, can you tell me about this March 2020? What all values I need to add to get March 2020 moving calculation? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So 89,749 is your March 2020 value. So likewise, it will calculate till the end of the month. So Sandeep, can you tell me about December 2023? Which is 203630. Okay, so December 2023 doesn't have any next value, so we should add only current value and the previous value. So that's why we'll get this value, $203,630. So that's about moving calculation. And we can add, so if you do -2, if you do, so it will add the previous two values. And if you do +2, it will add next two values. So likewise, you can add any number of previous values, any number of next values. So that's how we can make use of window function, where we can, by moving to next data points also, still we can do the whatever calculation we want to do based on the next and previous values. So I'll just show you for this example, how does this work. So this is now adding previous two values. So there are no previous two values. It will just add next two values, which is the sum of all these three. 75,972 is your value for January. So let's take some middle number, September 2020. So for September 2020, current value plus previous two values and next two values. The sum is, you can see at the bottom, 256,775. So here you can see 256,775. So that way it is adding the current value plus previous two values plus next two values. So that's about window function. So now let's see some other function, which is average. So this is the same process. So sum, it will do the sum aggregation, and for average, it will use average. So the aggregation itself is different. So it will do average, max, and min. So we'll see the other four as well, other three as well. So let's make it as -1, 1 again. And let's change this to average. And say apply. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is it doing exactly? So when I say an average, and so the condition is same, so it will compare the current value, previous value, and the next value. So the condition is same, but it is doing average. So can anyone tell me how is it doing average? Mm-hmm. 4520, that's a sum that we have done for sum. But yeah, by 2, correct. 14,508 plus 4520 divided by 2, which gives us 9519. Okay, so it's basically same thing. It will compare the previous, the current value and the next value, and it will do the sum, and whatever the number of values that we are adding, we need to divide it by those number of values. So now let's take an example for April 2020. So it will do the sum of all these three, which is 111,549, 111,549 divided by 3, which is 37,183. So it is taking the three numbers and it is doing division. I mean, it is summing up those three numbers and dividing it by the count of numbers that we are adding. So in the same way, you can add previous two values and next two values. It's the same process. So the condition is same, but here the aggregation is changing. So now we'll see about max. We will see the same example. I'll change this to max. Say okay. Okay, so here also it will compare current data point, previous data point, and the next data point. And in all these three data points, so I'll just write it down. So let's take for January 2020. So current data point is 14,518. and there is no previous data point. So there is no previous data point. So that will be nothing. So I will not mention that. And next previous data point, or next data point is 4520. So what we need to do, we need to compare these two values. So what is the maximum value in these two values? Sandeep, can you tell me what is the maximum value in these two? Okay, Suganya, can you tell me what is the maximum value when you compare these two? Yeah, so that will be your answer here. So it will compare based on the moving calculation that we have written. So it will compare only these three values, current data point and previous data point and the next data point. So I'll take some random July 2020. So July 2020, I'll write previous value. Previous value is 34669. Current value is 33946. And next value is 28918. 28918. Okay. Lakshmi, can you tell me which is the maximum value when you compare these three? Yeah, so that will be your value for July 2020. Okay, so in the same way, we can do for min as well. So it will take the minimum value. So it will take the minimum value in that. So now let's take, say, okay. And I will take May 2020 now. हाँ रवि okay, okay. Kishore, can you go on mute? Okay, I think he's on mute now. Hmm. Okay, so that's about, yeah, so I'll write down May 2020, May 2020. So previous value is 28295 and the current value is 26320 and next value is 3434669. So Tableau will take these three data points into consideration, and whichever is the minimum value, it will take that data point. So Kishore, can you tell me what is the minimum value in these three, three data points? Yeah, so 26,320 is the minimum value. The Tableau will find out from those three values and it will fetch the minimum value. Yeah. So that's about this window functions and moving calculation, and where we can compare with the previous values and next values. So previous values, if you want to compare, you need to put a negative symbol, and you can, if you, how many number of data points that you want to add on. So you can mention those as number, like -1 means, so you want to add the previous one value. And if you want to add the next one value, so you can mention 1. So based on these values, it will keep on adding. So I'll just take a pause here. So if you guys have any questions. Mhm. Yeah, I think we can do that. Yeah. So you should have 1/4, and you can do compute using, or you can say compute using quarter. Okay, so this way it will start every quarter. So every quarter it will compare. Uh, So it will not take the consideration of the previous quarter. So here, if you take normally, we are adding or we are comparing between these three, right? So it will not consider the previous quarter's value. So it will just, so there is no previous for this April 2020. So it will just consider these two values. So likewise, we can do that. So there has to be a pattern. So you can't take some middle month or something. So you can take the current value with previous and the next. That you can do. And in earlier we had this in table calculations. So let me just show you percentage difference. So when we have done this percentage difference, so relative to previous value, relative to next value. Apart from that, you can compare with the first value and the last value. So this we can do. We can compare with the first meaning January 2020 and the last meaning December 2023. So this way you can compare with the first and last, but not with the middle values. Like some number, some July 2020, if you want to compare that we can't do. So for moving calculations or for table calculations, we need to have some pattern. So then only we can do calculations like average sum or running total like that. Yeah, so that's about window calculations. Any other questions? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. So do not chat, we have seen it many times. I'll just show it in a fast forward way where I'll just create it. So I'll take region. So for to create in pie chart or do not, we need to have values not more than 6. And let's take sales. So select pie chart. So you need to have two axes. So this is a workaround that we do. Just type in sum of 0. So whenever you have sum of zeros 2 times, so you will get 2 marks cards. So here you get 1 marks card for this sum of 0 and the other marks card for this sum of 0. So one pie chart you need to make it as blank. So I will make this as blank. So I'm selecting this sum of 0. So I'll remove everything from this. Okay, so this will be blank, and I'll combine these two by doing dual axis. Okay, and I'll make the color as white. And now I'll select the other sum of 0 and increase the size. And I will also increase this circle size. So for that, I need to select the sum of 0. So even if you click here also, you can see this is for this sum. And if you click on this, watch this marks card. This marks card will enable the sum of 0 for this marks card. So this is for this one and this is for the other one. And you can increase the circle size. So this way we can create a do not chart. And now let's go to create how to create a waterfall chart. So this is very important. So this whenever we have negative values in your dimension, negative values in your measure in your KPI. So this will be very useful where you can see the flow of your data. So how is it flowing and all those things we can see it. So now let's create this chart. So let's take order date. and make it as month. And let's take sales and make a bar chart. Okay, so now that we have a bar chart, and I will create this as a, I need to have the running total. So we need to find out the running total. So currently we have these values. So running total meaning it will keep on adding the values till the last row. So I'll just make this as running total. So click on quick table calculation and click on running total. Where it will keep on adding the values to each and every next value. So the value of January will be as it is. For February, January value will be added to February. So it will keep on adding till the December. So at the end of the December, you will see the total value, which is 23,26,534 is the total value which the sales has. So now that we have this, so I'll just select giant bar. So giant bar is nothing but it will show one bar at that location. So $96,070 is it's here. So we are showing it based on the bar, length of the bar. But instead of this bar, I want to show it as giant bar. The giant bar is nothing but it will show a line at this point, $96,000, $1,55,000. It will just show a giant bar. So this is called as a giant bar. Okay. So now I want to see the flow. So I'll just swap the rows. So whatever is in rows will be shifted to columns, and whatever is in columns will be shifted to rows. So I'll just swap the rows, and now I will make use of a negative sales. So negative sum of sales. Okay, so I want to show the dip of this sales. So we have this bars and I want to show this sales in a negative direction. So I'll use this calculation. You can write, you can rename it as a negative sales, and say okay. And put this negative sales in the size. Put this negative sales in the size. So here you can see. So from that giant bar to this. So earlier we have done the running total. So running total, it's keep on adding the previous values until December, you have the total. But now we have, so this bar from top to bottom. So it's basically the negative sales. So I mean, it's basically the normal sales value it will show. So you can see the value for December is $3,30,218. So here you can see the normal value of the sales, $352,666. And okay, so now that we have created a flow, and I will also show the total value here. So row grand totals. So here you can see the total value, which is 23 lakhs. And I want to show, sorry, instead of sales, let's take profit only. So profit has negative values. So it's easy to understand. I'll just take profit. And negative sales also, I will write negative profit. Say edit. Take profit here. Say so. I mean, most of the times we use whenever we have negative values in the measures. So only in such cases, waterfall chart looks good. So that's the reason I'm taking profit in my example. So let's rename this as negative profit. So sales doesn't have any negative value. So that's the reason I'm taking this profit and say okay. Okay, so now put this profit in the color marks card. Profit and put it in the color marks card. I want to color the negative. So whatever month is negative, I want to see it in a different color, or you can say red crane diverging, and say okay. Okay, so these are the months it has negative values. Yeah, so these are the months it has negative values. And let's create show on this. So profit, if you can see, it has negative values in these months. Okay, so this is the way where we can see or where we can plot negative profit. And 1 second, net profit. So basically what it is doing is, it is just like we have got $292,297 of profit. So how we got this profit is based on the waterfall. Like, so some amount of sales came from January, and some amount of profit came from February. So all these months together, we got this $292,297. So it's a representation through the waterfall. So this way we are representing the data. Even you can shift the columns like this. So this way we can do a waterfall chart where we can see the flow of the profit. Where is it giving us the values in a different way? So let's take, let me take, instead of order date, so I will take a different dimension. So I will take subcategory. Okay, so here it will look like, so in sheet 6, we don't have any negative values. For January, I mean, in the month, it is not showing any negative values. So here it is clear. So if you see, whenever it is positive, you see the bar is going up. Okay, bar is going towards up direction. And whenever it is small, I mean, whenever it is negative, so the bar, you can see it is coming in the below direction. So if you see the positive, it is starting from here and it is going towards upside. And for whenever this is negative, it is coming to the down. So that's how the representation is. Even in the PowerPoint, if you see, you can see that. Okay, so positive meaning, so it will start from where the previous one ended. So it will start from there and it will go to top. And whenever you have negative, it will start from there and it will go down. So that's the negative. So if you go to the, I mean, if you see the water flow, so there is a flow which goes down and which comes back to the top. In the same way, whenever you have some negative profit, you go down, and whenever you have some positive profit, from there you go to top. So that's the representation we are trying to achieve from waterfall chart. So whenever we have positive value, $800, so it has taken towards upside. From there, we had negative profit. So it is going towards below. And again, we have some positive values. So it is going towards upside. So likewise, we will have ups and downs in this measure. So profit measure, we have some ups and downs. So based on that, so even if we have some ups and downs, at the end of this, like the combination of all these subcategories together, we have got $292,297 of profit. So there are only some categories, some subcategories which give negative profit. So those are also will get highlighted based on this. Okay, any questions? Yeah, so this is without colors. So profit will have negative values. So I'll just put it in the colors. Profit, just put it in the color marks card. So just edit this colors. So in this, I want to see negative and profit value. I mean, negative profit and so positive profit separately. So I just need 2 steps. So I negative values I want to show separately and positive values I want to show separately. So that's why I'm making it as 2 steps. And in this, you can select whatever colors we want to. And I want to show positive profit as green and negative profit as red. So that's why I'm selecting this red green diverging. So here also you can see, so negative values will come, or you can see, or in this advanced you can select 0. So whatever is above 0 will be colored as green. Whatever is below 0 will be colored as red. Or if you want to consider from 1000 or 1500. So whatever is, or let's say 15,000. Whatever is above 15,000 will be colored as green, and whatever is below 50,000 will be colored as red. So this has some limitations. You can't write as many conditions as possible. Let's say if you're taking 3, okay, so 3 you can set up, and you can add on this. So whichever is having some 15,000, so there is nothing has 15,000 value. So 15,000, there is one color, and middle, whichever has more than 56,000, so it has different color. So I'll just put labels on top of this. Just put profit label. Okay, and say edit. Okay, let's take 2 steps only, so it will be clear for you. Okay, so in the condition, what I have mentioned is whichever is above 15,000, show it as green color. So if you see 41,000, 18,000, 31,000, all these are greater than 15,000. So below 15,000, 13,000, 5,000, these are colored as red color. But usually what I actually need is for negative values. So I don't want to enter center value. So by default, what Tableau will understand is negative values will be in one color and positive values will be in one color. So yeah, so you can see 3,632 is negative. So that's why it is colored in red. 1,000 is negative. This is also negative. So that way you can see it here. So I have provided steps to create waterfall chart. So in this, you can follow step by step. So basically the value it is showing, it's basically a running sum. So the value which is coming from top to bottom, this bar length which is there. So this is $56,000, which is actually the profit value. So you might get confused between this axis and all. So this axis is showing some 150,000, more than $150,000, but it is actually showing the running total. So don't get confused with running total and the actual value. So the actual value of profit is starting from here to here, which is $56,094. So to create waterfall chart, so we need to do this running total. So that is the process of creating a waterfall chart. So don't get confused with running total and the actual value of profit. So that's the reason I have taken profit separately and I have kept it in label so that you can see the actual value of the profit. Okay, so all this combination together, you will get this $292,297. So it is to show the highs and lows of uh, subcategories or the measure values. You can see the highs and lows of measure values based on the subcategories. So that's about today's session. So if you guys have any questions, okay, can anyone tell me what is the difference between a window function and a moving calculation? Lakshmi, can you tell me the difference between moving calculation and table calculations? Okay, Ravita, can you tell the difference between moving calculation and the table calculation? Yeah, correct. Yeah, so we do this table down, table across, pane down, pane across. So it is based on the table, entire table, and moving calculation is based on the data points. So you can compare the previous data points and the next data points. So yeah, so that's the difference. So we mainly use these four functions: sum, average, min, max functions we use. And we have also seen donut chart, how to create donut chart, and the workaround also we have discussed. And we have also discussed, so this is very important chart. Waterfall chart is very important. So not like usual charts. So Tableau has some 24 charts which are available. So this waterfall chart is not directly available in Tableau, where we need to perform some steps to create this waterfall chart. So follow these steps. I will share this document with you all in the group, and follow these steps. By next session, try to prepare this and publish it in the Tableau public. Okay, so if you guys don't have any questions, we can wrap this session. Any questions? Yeah, Sandeep, any questions? Oh, okay. Okay, then thank you all for joining. We'll continue tomorrow.